it's important to understand your responsibilities when it comes to managing the users you actually have at your organisation. Now, for example, if a user or somebody current within your organisation leaves their role at your organisation, it's important to understand that you need to deactivate them. This is not an automated process when that person leaves. So it's really important that you keep on top of who's registered on that system. And like I said, making sure they've got the right permissions available to them. And if they do leave, making sure that they've no longer got access to this system. PCSE Online is, it's accessed through your web browser as well. So with any credential that's actually set up, it's not automatically removed when they leave your organisation. This is why it's so important for you guys to understand when that person does leave, you have to deactivate them on that system. There may be a case that that person is moving on to a different ICB organisation, which is fine. When they get registered at that new practice, they will only be able to see the details specific to that region or to that organisation. So when we talk about managing users, to be able to do all those things that I've just talked about, creating users, deactivating users, and assigning and managing new roles and permissions, you will need to have a certain permission in PCSE Online, which initially PCSE would set up, but if you've got an existing user manager in your organisation, they can help with that as well. But that permission is called GPP.com User Management. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how you will perform these actions in PCSE Online.
Here we are at the login screen. So you can see there's my email address and there's my password now available to sign in. And as I sign in, the first thing we get here is select organisation. Now I know that within the ICBs, quite a lot of users are connected to more than one ICB, or at the moment it's more than one CCG. Now that may be the case. It may be that as you've worked for several, had a similar role in several CCGs, and therefore that will be the same in ICBs. Or it could be that as we reduce that number down to 40 ICBs, that you only have one role within the ICB. If this comes up with select organisation, you just want to select the organisation that you want to work with. So you'd select the one that you're looking to approve a transaction with, or the one that you're looking to perform a management user management on. So for today, I'm going to select Ian's General Hospital because that's the organisation that I'm logging in and I want to view. So as I click continue, it will take me to the front screen, and this is a screen that Ryan showed you on the slides. So the reason I can see performers list, GP pensions, records and supplies is because I have roles all in this organisation. I have roles that allow me to transact on the performers list, complete GP payments and pensions transactions, and complete medical records movements, and that's for a practice or order supplies. But you'll also see that I've got up here the user management tab, and that is what we're talking about today, managing our users. So if I click into user management, I'm presented with a blank screen. Now, within user management, you can only view users that are at your organisation. So there's two ways that you can search here. If you knew that you wanted to bring a user into your organisation, you know that that user already has a PCSE Online account, you could search for their full email address or full username in this select user. So if I search for, I'll search for myself, or I could search for Marie. If I click apply instead, so we've got a user there with the name Marie. So I can search for Marie and it will bring up Marie's username, and I can bring her into my organisation by searching for her. Alternatively, if I wanted to manage users at my organisation, and I wanted to see who's actually within my organisation, when I'm on this screen, if I tick this box, leave everything else blank, tick my organisation only and click apply, it will bring me up every user that's at my organisation. Now, as I said, although you're seeing what looks like real usernames there, they're all fake. This is all test data that we used when we're trying to demo. Now, what I can see there is the username of a person. I can see the surname and the first name. I can see the last time that user logged in, how many times they've had a bad password count. So you can see that Marie, and that's because of me trying to log in, has had a bad password count today of 1. I can see whether the account's deactivated. So you can see here that most accounts are still active, but I've got 2 down here that are deactivated. Now, it will show you every user at your organisation. So even if you've had a number of users that you've deactivated and have left your organisation, you will be able to view every user you've had. Now, which we're working with Maztec to improve that, to try and get a filter put on it, so you can filter out everyone that was deactivated in case you don't want to see them, because we're very aware that especially for an ICB, your screen will be quite large with users on there, especially if we include all the deactivated ones, but that's not functionality that's available at present. And then we can see whether the account's expired. So every 90 days, if the user hasn't logged into the PCSE online account in over 90 days, we will deactivate their account. So, and that is because it's again to keep the service secure. It's, as I said, it's really important that we manage our users' access. This is a system that is available within the public domain, and yes, you need a password to access it. But if somebody was dismissed or suspended, and an end user doesn't deactivate their account, after 90 days of no activity, we will deactivate it in PCSE to help to keep the system secure. Now, if you wanted to see what permissions each one of these users have got, the way you do it, there's 2 ways. You can either click on their email address or username, or click on edit user, and that will take you in to their individual account. So I can see here for Marie at I'm Testing has got the user permissions of PL Organisation Administrator and Practice Order Entry Clerk. Now, what I'm looking at here is a practice, just for a demo. You would see roles that are relevant to the ICB. Every time we put an organisation code in, the roles that display for each organisation are relevant to that organisation type. So a GP practice has a certain amount of roles, and an ICB will have certain amounts of different roles. So then all you do is you'd select the roles you want to give them, or you could tick the roles you want to take away, and then you would click update. Organisation has a main contact. So we click update, and then that'll say up there, the user info is updated successfully. So we know that we've updated that user successfully. Now say that Marie's left and I want to deactivate Marie. I'd go to deactivate user, and then I would start to type in their name, and it will only bring me back results of the people I've got at my organisation. So it knows that at my organisation, I've got a Marie Pattison. So it's returned the results, Marie Pattison at imtesting.com. So as I click that, I can then click that I want to deactivate Marie's account. So I'd click deactivate user. It'll check with me. Are you okay? Are you sure you want to deactivate the user? Okay. And again, user deactivated successfully will appear. So if I go back into my user management tile, and again, I'm going to search my organisation only and click apply. So it's brought back all of my users again, but we can see here that Marie Pattison is deactivated. If I've done that by mistake, and I think, oh, actually, I didn't want to deactivate Marie, it was a different Marie, it was a different person, that's no problem. What I'd do is go back into edit user, and you can see that Marie's now got no roles. But in order to reactivate Marie's account, so this is relevant for people who may be going on, somebody who may be on long-term sick or on suspension, or is out of the business for any period of time, maybe taking a sabbatical or any period of time away from the business. You want to deactivate them as they go on maternity leave even. You want to deactivate them as they go, but then you'll want to reactivate them when they come back. So we don't delete any accounts, it's just deactivation. So in order to bring Marie's account back to life, all I need to do now is give her a role. So I'll give her the roles of PL Organisation Administrator. Doesn't really matter what roles I give. And then if I click update, that will bring Marie's account back to life. So you can see there it says user info updated successfully. As I click again in my organisation only, there is Marie, and the account is not deactivated. So the account is now active again, and she's got all the roles within there. So that is how we manage users. Now, you don't have to click directly on this to view every user at your organisation. It's useful if you're unaware of what the username is. Certainly for most people in the ICBs, they'd have their NHS email address as the username. And for other people, they might have just a single name or a different email address, or maybe a private email address. Certainly, we've got a lot of performers with a private email address. So you could just put their email address in there. You will only be able to see people who are at your organisation if you just typed in one name. So if I typed in Tracy into there and clicked apply, I would get, so we've got a user there with the surname Tracy. If I typed in tracy.cask, I can see there that I'm not getting anyone with that username. Even though I know there's somebody with that username, it won't show it to me because they're not in my organisation. So I'm not able to view anyone outside of my organisation. So that's how we view the user management screen. You can search using people's forenames and people's surnames. What I would say for the ICBs, when you're searching for those, because of the number of users that you may have in there, the search can return quite a lot of results. But if you know somebody's forename or surname and you just want to search for them, I'll search for Marie again. You can just type that in, and that's brought me back Marie. So if you're not sure of what their email address is, because I know sometimes with the NHS email addresses, they have different numbers on the end of them, but you know the first name, you could change it just to search for the forename, and it will bring it. So again, if I search for Tracy, or just at least Trace, there, it'll bring me back the users from my organisation, and I can view them. And the same applies there for surname, and you could search on the surname. So that's how we manage users within the organisation. It's just done through the user management functionality. So when you log into your PCSE online account, if you don't see this there, it means that you are not currently assigned to be a user manager. And if that's something that you need, something that you think you should be managing, then you could speak to your current user manager. If you're not aware who that is, you can contact us on the front pages. So I would say always, when you're at home, go to the user management page, and this will give you all the information about the different roles that you need to be a user manager and how to contact us. It's got our contact details on there for the user management team and how to contact us to tell us that you need to be a user manager.